Good morning, YouTube. I have here a 2018 Nissan Versa.
It has 67,000 miles on it. It was bought in Michigan, according to Carfax, as a rental. The rental 2 years later, apparently they got a little bit of wreck where it crushed the front end and it crushed the back end, but nothing to salvage it. It was repairable. My sister-in-law bought it in 2020 with 53,000 miles on it. And at 57,000 miles, the freaking CVT transmission went out. It's all over the internet. Yep, the band broke. Cheap piece of crap. And she drives it like granny. So, I don't know what did it. Don't care. Anyway, here we are at 67,000 miles. And she tells me it starts making a funny noise. It's kind of rumbling sound. And when she, sitting at idle, it'll rumble. And I'm like, okay. So I didn't get to it. 2 weeks later, she's going up a hill. And the engine surges a bit, rumbles, and then dies. Totally dies. Tow it home. So there, it's a 5-year-old battery. I checked it. Sure enough, it's bad. So I said, all right, need a new battery for sure. Let me check the starter. I said, you know what? She said it ground a few times when she started. So I got a new battery at AutoZone, $200. Thank you very much. Said, you know what? Why play with it? Pulled the starter and looked at it. The Bendix teeth right here, the pinion, were ground up, not bad, but on the end, she said it ground up a few times towards the last few weeks too. So I said, all right, and I pulled the starter just to look at it and see what the flywheel looked like, or the flex plate. It all looked good. The teeth were ground up a little bit. I said, you know what? Let's just not play. Replaced with a refurbished starter from Duralast. It's fine. Fits perfectly, no problems. Put it back inside the car, and guess what? Same problem. Go to crank it, doesn't engage the engine. You hear the starter go, just like the old one. It just zzz. I'm like, whoa, that's weird. The solenoid's engaging. The starter Bendix is flying out. It's spinning the flex plate, but the engine crankshaft is not turning at all. Nothing, none of the pulleys move at all. So I was like, all right. I put my hand in here, and I got it on the flex plate, and I spun it. You can't really see it, but I did. I spun it by hand, and sure enough, it freewheels. So what's that mean? That means the flex plate is bolted to the crankshaft. So there's no physical way I should be able to spin that flex plate without turning the crankshaft to, and I ain't that strong. So that's not good. So for whatever reason, I'm thinking, my theory is, and I'm going to find out when I tear this apart, when they did the CVT transmission last year, thank you, Nissan, I think they didn't put in the dowel pins that align the bell housing on the transfer case or on the transmission case. And when you do that, even though it's off, it only knocks it out of alignment with the rest of the CVT transmission by maybe 1/8 of an inch or so. It will cause damage to the flex plate over time. So I'm thinking that's my theory. I'm thinking the flex plate is totally sheared all the way around the mounting bolts. We'll find out when I get into it. Now, the other part I'm going to tell you is I see a lot of videos online about how to replace a CVT transmission, and some are good. Everybody's trying, but some are like, what the fuck are you doing? One guy had 14 hours worth, and it was like his second time he did it in 2 months. God bless him. I think he truly meant well, but I'm not sure if he was doing it as satire, because it didn't make any sense as he was going. He was tearing apart the entire engine to get to the CVT, which it's a little bit of work, but it's not that much damn work. Anyway, I'm going to dispel some rumors. I have enough money
I'm not rich, but I am comfortable. So I can afford to buy the best, but I'm here to tell you, Harbor Freight's got a bad rap these days. Hopefully it's getting better. I think people are starting to see that these guys actually provide a decent product. Bought a Daytona jack about a year ago. This thing is the frickin' bomb. It's 4 tons. I got it for like $200 on sale. I bought a crossbar. That thing extends on both sides. You know, it lifts the frickin' side of the car. It saves you from jacking each point. I bought some Hercules ratchets the other day. They're 12 volts and 4 amps. 3/8 and 1/4. That'll make this job so much easier. Guess how much? $89 for the tool only. $89 for each. And then the batteries were like $35, $39 each for a 4 amp. I could have got a 2 amp for $25. A little bit more, last me 8 hours. Life is good. And a charger. I think total was like $300. Whereas if I bought the Milwaukee Fuel, which is a cool looking ratchet, I'd only get 1 tool, no charger, no battery. So do the math, folks. You save a lot of freaking money by going to Harbor Freight. If you buy their top brand, which is Hercules, it's not going to fail. I mean, it's just as good as the Milwaukee stuff, you know, for what you're going to use it for. You know, that's a plug for them. I'm not affiliated with Harbor Freight, care less. But I will say they provide good value. Step 1, remove hubcap and loosen lug nuts. Step 2, lug nuts are loose on both front wheels. Jack the car. Here we go.